Yeah, so here we go. It's Bullseye Handicapping. Taking a back seat, sitting in the bleachers. Basically doing my number one goal, which is to pass as many races as possible and to pass as many days as possible. I've gotten it down to a point now where, um, after 6 years of doing it, somewhere about 95%, which I'm very, very happy about. And the way I get there is by unfortunately not playing many days during the week. So, for example, we got Monday, Tuesday, really nothing going on. Then you got Wednesday, Keeneland, and you got Tampa Bay. So that's about 18 races. And out of those 18 races, I have no interest in it. Thursday, you got Keeneland and Gulfstream and Tampa, so you got about 30 races there. And then on Friday, the same thing. So you got about 80, 75 races that, I'm not even going to, I'm going to pass. And I know I'm going to pass it, since last Saturday when I played. So how do I pass all of those races? Well, there's only one way that I learned after 6 years to pass that many races, and that's to not even open up the card. Because as soon as you open up the card, it's no different than looking at a naked woman, even if she's not your girlfriend or wife. You're ba ba boo boo. You lose it. You totally lose it, and as a result of that, you're gonna play. You're gonna get involved because that's just what we do. We want to get involved and play the races. I've been playing for 50 years, so I've had to put these disciplines in. But the only way you can become, a winner is to train yourself. And part of training yourself to be a winner is you have to understand that there's a lot of races that just aren't even playable. And if you're addicted to playing, then you got a problem, and you have to find some way of specializing and playing the races that you're good at, playing races that you get wowed by, playing races where you can have the opportunity to at least have the joy of handicapping. And my process is to start there, the joy of handicapping. Monday through Friday, there's no joy of handicapping. It's just horses. It's not quality horses in most cases. It's no graded races. So I wait till Saturday and I just play on Saturdays. The other advantage to specializing is that and also playing on Saturdays is you get more than enough information to play the game. You get more than enough information to handicap the races and get an opinion. You almost don't even have to look at the racing form. You get so much information on graded races. There's so many people that want to talk about, their opinion of the race, and I find that to be good. And I think that that's a typical horse player behavior. Is that you want to tell people how smart you are. We all want to tell everybody how smart we are. And I love it. I love it. The fact that you can get a story, you can get a scenario, you can get a situation as to how it's going to be. Just like with the Derby coming up, you already have 50% of the story done. You already have 50% of the handicapping done because the story starts way back. Actually last year as 2-year-olds, and then going into this year, and now with all the prep races out of the way. You're going into the Derby. Now, bullseye handicapping, again, specializing, bullseye, hitting the bullseye, just playing races that you're wowed. And I learned that after playing for 50 years plus, that, the only way you can be a winner is you have to make sacrifices. You have to do things you don't want to do. Like, who doesn't want to play at least 4 or 5 days a week, at least 2 or 3 races here and there? Everybody does who's a horse player. But you got to go further than that. You got to be even more disciplined than that. You have to go to a point where you're bullseye. It can't be rhythm because you're going to go back to your old ways. Unfortunately, horse players are weak. They're very weak. We don't have ninja balls. We don't have ninja balls to put in an investment that makes us feel uncomfortable. We want certainty, and that's our Achilles heel, is that we want certainty, and there's no such thing. And then the last part is that how can you be a winner if you get beat up so much by so many other races? And that's why I came to this conclusion that Bullseye handicapping was the way, was because basically I'm not interested in getting my ass beat up at 70 years old anymore. So I'm not going to get involved. I'm going to sit in the bleachers and just watch every other day except for Saturday and maybe some Sundays. But basically, it's just the discipline of playing Saturdays. And unfortunately, this Saturday, it might be a blank Saturday because there's only a few races and I really don't know a lot about that. And, I'm not eager to get involved in it. What I do is I go to Horse Racing Nation and all stakes probable. I go to that part and then I come up and it shows all the stakes that are coming up. And obviously, in May 1st and May 2nd, we got the Derby. But before that, I've been following. Baeza is going to be running possibly in Oakland Park. Journalism's possibly running. Sovereignty's possibly running. Around the 18th. There's another stake. I don't know where it is. I don't think it's Keeneland. I think Baeza is running in Churchill Downs, and Sovereignty is running and Journalism possibly running in in Oakland Park. And Baeza is going to be going over a mile on the 16th to Churchill Downs. And I'm not sure what I think about that, but that's where my focus is right now during these days where I'm not involved in playing the races. And it's not easy. It's not easy to do when you've done something for so long. It's hard to get divorced from playing like you've always played. But I came to a point where I want to have more enjoyable horse racing experiences. I don't have to win a lot of money. I just want to be able to play and enjoy myself. Yeah, and I don't want to have experiences that I don't feel comfortable with, or that are nothing that I didn't plan. And that's why I put in all of these disciplines, and that's why one of the things you have to learn to do is to get out of the horse racing bubble and go back into the world bubble, which I didn't do for many, many, many years. And unfortunately, when you go back into the world bubble, there's nobody there standing waiting for you. You've got to kind of like reinvent yourself. And what you find is that's okay. There's nothing you could do about it because every day people are leaving. When you're 70, every day people are leaving. So it's okay. You don't have to get attached to anybody. You can just enjoy things moment to moment. That's the beauty about being an old dude, is that, you can be more disciplined. You don't got to be a young crackerjack. You can be more patient because of the fact that your life is more serene. You can wait and wait and wait and have a black belt in perseverance and waiting and allowing, situations to talk to you. There's a level of handicapping, and there's part of the game that you don't learn until you play for 40 or 50 years, and that's a felt sense. The late Mike Pizzola was a guru of mine, so to speak. I used to listen to him a lot for probably 30 years or so, and he talked about that quite a bit, a felt sense, having a felt sense. And there's no better handicapping than a felt sense. And to go a little further than that, also from late Mike Pizzola, was let the bet make you. Let the bet make you. I mean, come on. That's why we got in the game. The joy of handicapping. Get wowed by, a vulnerable favorite. Get wowed by the idea that the race is going to be contentious, and that a situation could evolve where something that the horse didn't have for a long time is going to have this time, and you have this felt sense about that. The bet's making you, so you're able to go forward. You're able to keep giving yourself green lights to leave the gambling aspect of the game to the, do I want to make an investment in this? That's the difference. Gambling would be paying 5 days a week, having to play. I gotta play. I want more. I want more. That's a song by Faithless. I want more. I want more. That's a gambler. But somebody who plays the game and wants to make investments in just a race, which I just play the one race only, and no string bets, no this, no that, just play the race and take a leap and risk it all. I mean, that's the Bullseye approach. Take a leap and risk it all. Risk that unit. And you have that unit because you haven't played all week. You have money, so you haven't played. And you're confident and you're not beat up. You're not beat up by losing 70% of the time. You're not walking into the ring bloody. You're walking into the ring fresh and ready to go. This is the fourth or fifth day of a person, maybe even the sixth day of a handicapper's week. For me, this is the first and only day. That's training yourself to be a winner. Going in the ring when you know you can win, where your odds of coming out of there a winner are possible. So the experience already is enjoyable because you're not being stupid. You're not being a compulsive, idiotic gambler, which I've been for many, many years. But no more, no mas. There's a moment where you have to walk through the fire and move into the other level. And basically, it's just, you can visualize it as leaving the center of the ocean with all those massive waves. Walking through the fire is leaving the ocean and finally getting to land. Bullseye handicapping is about finally getting to the land. Your shit isn't all over the place. You're not compulsively gambling. You're not, I have to play, I want more. You finally are taking it easy and you've arrived. The moment of truth, you walk through the fire. After you walk through the fire and you get to land, you are beautiful. You are there. And then it's a matter of just staying there. And it took me a year to stay there. A year. It took me 6 years to arrive there, to start my journey to end. And it took me 10 from the idea of it. So this is like a 10-year goal that, finally actualized like recently and now can be enjoyed, but has to be experienced every single week, every day, all the time. There can't be no error in this. You can't have thin ice. You have to be on a foundation of solid ground, which is where I am now. Because I don't want to be a gambler anymore. I don't want to be a gambler anymore. I don't want to be a compulsive, addicted gambler who has to play. So you have to build fences, and the fences can't be climbable. They have to have, pricks of steel sticking out. So if you try to climb up that fence, you're gonna get stuck in a knock shot. Feelings of I can't do that. And the only way you could do that is, the only way I cannot play all the way until probably the 18th, the 21st, and then Kentucky Derby Day, which I'll talk about another time. But it's just waiting and being patient and doing other activities. This is another activity, is, YouTubing and putting it out there and passing on the knowledge, just like all the other guys are passing on the knowledge. Somebody hears this and they understand. If you don't understand it and you don't like it, it's because you're not ready for it. You haven't arrived. You haven't walked through the fire. You want to gamble. You want to get your ass kicked all over the fucking place and then win to recover and then feel like you've been reborn again. Fuck that. I'm not interested in getting my ass kicked no more. I'm a Kung Fu guy. I am definitely deflecting that. And again, the only way I'm doing it is by passing 90% of the races I used to play. I used to play 2,000 races a year. 2,000 races a year. Now I'm lucky if I play 50, 100, tops. And that's good. But I'm playing 100 races with the same bankroll as I played the 2000 races. It's Bullseye now. It's not all over the freaking place. It's not like I gotta play, I gotta play. No, I only play if I'm wowed. I'm only played if the bet makes me. I'm only playing if I have a felt sense. And during the play, I gotta have a joy of handicap, foreplay. I gotta have foreplay. I have to enjoy the living sugar out of it, and it has to keep saying yes. Like the other day, I had a story going on, and it didn't say yes in the middle a little bit, but I forged forward. I knocked down the dam that was being built that I saw the possibility, and the other situation was that the risk factor was wrong. And I'm playing it at a track that I don't even like, Aqueduct. Whereas the other race, the race I was following further ado for ages, obviously since his last win at Kentucky, Keeneland, I expected him to run that big. I expected him to win for fun. And I made, again, you make a $2,000 investment on him in that race. You could feel really, really confident about it, and you're picking up, you're picking up 4 to 5 on the horse. You're getting a little less than 2,000 back on your 2,000. No exactas, no triples, no pick fours, no. Just pick up the $2,000 and put it in the bank. Pick up the 1,857, whatever, and put it in the bank. And but more importantly, you had a totally enjoyable experience with little risk. Whereas the Wood Memorial was bizarre. I mean, it rained there. I was gonna drop out of there when it rained. Then the track changed. It's insane. It's insane sometimes. And if that's why I really love the other thing that Mike Pizzoli used to say. A great quote from a long time ago. If you're gonna stand, stand. If you're gonna sit, sit. But don't wobble. In that last race that I played, I wobbled, and I should have been out. So again, opportunity for me. I wobbled with the weather change. I wobbled with the fact that, I wanted 10 to 12 to 1, and I got, what, 7 to 1. I wanted to gamble. That was my conclusion, and I shouldn't have gambled on it. I should have even put more on Further Ado, which was more absolute, and there was no wobble. If you're gonna stand, stand. If you're gonna sit, sit. But don't wobble. My stance on that was very strong, and it should have been just the one investment instead of the gamble and the investment, because then I just become Mr. Clean and I wash money. If I put the same amount on both horses, I'm just washing money. I just gave all the money back from Further Ado right to the Wood Memorial, whereas you could make a profit just on making it simple. Keep it simple. That's the last point I'd like to bring up. You gotta take things in this game. You gotta make it as simple as possible, especially when you're an old dude. Because the more complex you make it, the more you blow into the balloon to add on into this and to that. The more you expand the balloon, the easier it's gonna pop. Whereas if you just blow it up one little pump, win place, win. That's it. Just one little pump. Keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. That used to be the guy that passed away. I think John. I heard him say that about keeping it simple and betting a lot, really good philosophy. Now he's going into this thing called the Edge, and he's entertaining the thought of this new thing with the Edge and football and sports betting. Man, you're crazy. He's crazy. He's doing that. Basically, it's like he's cheating on his wife by going into another sport and thinking that you could be just as good in that sport as you are with the horses. Nah, you got to start all over again. It's going to be a disaster. He should never, stay a purist and stay with the horses till you go home. To God, God knows you're a horse player. He doesn't want you getting into the sports book and in the edge. That's going to be a disaster for him. I don't care how excited he gets. I do the same thing. I understand what he's doing. He's trying, because there's a lot of races he doesn't want to play. He wants to do something else to fill that time, leaving the horse racing bubble. I get it. But I do that too. I do it with Texas Hold'em. But I play it for free. I don't play it for money. And I play it just for just another thing to do that makes me smile. And that's what it's all about, no matter what, is you got to be able to smile if you're playing. If you're never smiling or you're smiling only once in a while, you got to make sure you go back to the smile. You have to, because that's why you got in the game. You got in the game because a stimulant, busted you wide open and you went ba ba boo boo. And that's fine. But don't go ba ba boo boo and thinking that you got to do so much. Take it easy. Relax. Sit back. Go in the bleachers. Uh, handicap a race, but you don't have to play it. Unfortunately, when you open up a racing form, you almost think you have to play it. But you don't. If it doesn't talk to you, let it go. Hang on tightly, let go lightly. Don't hang on to all those racing forms so tightly and think that you have to play them all. Let go lightly. A little bit, 20%, 10%. Keep knocking it out. And you'll find that you'll have, first of all, more money in your bankroll. And, you won't have as many negative experiences. So you'll be a happier guy. You'll be a happier dude. And that's the key. You want to be able to smile and be happy. And Bullseye Handicapping is doing that for me. And that's why I like sharing it with people. Anybody wants to talk to me, my number is 475-279-5398. Anybody needs any help with what I'm talking about, reach out. Because I've been doing this for 10 years. And I love it. As hard as it, and anything that's worthy of winning or doing well in it, you got to work hard at it. And working hard at it in this case is discipline. Is playing less races. Discipline, playing less races. And just seeing, man, I was wrong. Man, it's unbelievable how many stories that we come up with are wrong. And that's why you have to throw away your ego. We just don't know. The certainty cannot be there. But you still have a chance to, be in control and have enjoyable experiences. Let the bet make you when you have a felt sense about something. Go to that other level and walk through the fire. Get out of the middle of the ocean where you think you have to play. Get to land. All right, that's enough for this episode. This is Bullseye Handicapping Mofo Joe. And as Harvey Pack would say, may the horse be with you. Bye now.